Hello everyone. Do you want to register your business for GST and then reclaim GST that you pay in Australia as a foreign company? Do you want to save a $1,000 fee for GST registration service? Do you want to know what GST is and what form of business you can choose from before GST registration? Today I'd like to go over all of that today. I also will show you the Australian Tax Office's website that you can register for yourself towards the end of the video. If you need certain information only, skip the intro and jump to the part that you want. I've added timestamps for you. While setting up an Australian subsidiary, I had a chance to work with and learn from a local attorney about how to set up business in Australia, including Australian GST. After the setup process, I managed various Australian taxes, including GST. I personally felt like Australia Tax Office has well-established tax regulations, especially compared with southern European countries. The Australian Tax Office responds relatively fast. Although I haven't experienced every single piece of Australia's tax laws, I felt that they are well organized and suitable for foreign companies to manage their subsidiaries or branches. The penalties of the Australian Tax Service. It seems that the penalties and fines of the Australian Tax Service are not as heavy as the German Tax Service, which is the most severe one in my observation. However, it's important to carefully review GST registration and branch establishment strategies before entering the business, as it may be difficult to reclaim GST or result in additional taxes, including fines, if not properly handled. How to set up business for a foreign company in Australia. Before entering the Australian market and registering for any in Australia, there are 3 forms that a foreign company should choose from to be eligible for GST registration. 1. Registering for an ABN, Australian Business Number, and GST without company registration in Australia. 2. Registering ABN and GST through an established branch in Australia. 3. Registering as a foreign company in Australia and registering for ABN and GST. According to Australian tax laws, the first option, only applying for ABN and GST without company registration in Australia, is not available for every foreign company. But it's the cheapest and simplest structure that allows you to receive a refund of the GST paid. While the second and third options may appear similar, they have different taxes and applicable laws. Depending on the company's circumstances, the most tax-saving structure should be selected. In most cases, double taxation with Australia can be avoided, so there's no need to pay income tax in both Australia and your home country at the same time for the same profit. What is Australian GST? Australian Goods and Services Tax, GST, is a 10% tax charged on the price of most goods and services. With a few exceptions such as food ingredients, some medical services, education-related classes, and export items. It is equivalent to VAT in Europe and sales tax in the US. But it can be refunded if a company reclaims, so it is more similar to European VAT. GST registration requirement. If your annual sales exceed 75,000 Australian dollars, about 50,000 United States dollars, of GST items, you're required to register for GST under Australian tax laws. But even if your sales are lower than that, it's recommended to register to receive past refunds, up to 4 years. Foreign companies can register their sales through online platforms for GST and receive a refund if necessary, but this is not a legal obligation. How to register for GST. To register for GST, you'll need to apply for ABN, Australia Business Number, first. In order to do so, you should prepare a few documents, including a company formation document in your home country, a copy of the representative's and executive's passport, and an additional identification card. These documents can be notarized or certified at the Australian Embassy and, if not in English, a notarized translation is required. 1. Apply for an ABN through the Australian government website. This is the Australian Tax Office's website that you can apply for ABN. I will leave the link below. You'll receive ABN, an 11-digit registration number online, but if there are any issues, it may take up to a month. 2. Once ABN is received, apply for GST on the Australian government website. This is the website that you can apply online. I will leave the link below. I hope this video has provided you with high-level overview on the Australian GST system and how it impacts foreign companies doing business in Australia. Make sure to take the time to carefully review VAT registration and branch establishment strategies to avoid any additional taxes or fines. If you'd like any other countries that you'd like to apply for VAT, please comment so that I can make another video.